Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the schedule of meetings adopted at the organizational meeting held January 4th, 2023. Adequate notice of this regular meeting of the Kenilworth Board of Education has been provided to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the local source on January 12th, 2023. A copy has been filed with the Kenilworth Borough Clerk, posted in the board office, the Kenilworth Borough Hall, Brearley and Harding Schools, as is provided by the Open Public Meetings Act.
Thank you, Mr. Canella. At this time, we're going to adjourn and move to the auditorium for a presentation to highlight some students, and then we will return with a salute to the flag.
Okay, Mr. Miller, you want to start the presentation?
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming. Very special evening planned this tonight. Before we talk about the accomplishments of our boys soccer team, I would be remiss if I didn't mention how well our girls soccer team did this year. They won the conference championship this year, which was a great accomplishment for them. So even though they're not here, I'd like to recognize the girls team. Our boys soccer team, as the year went on, really started to catch fire and finished the year tremendously, winning the sectional championship. Without further ado, I'd like to have Coach McGowan come up and talk about the young men in front of us and share some of the highlights from a great season.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. When I started this 27 years ago, I didn't need these, but now I definitely do. Thanks to the Board of Education for inviting us here tonight. It's always a great night when we can come here and celebrate the wonderful accomplishments of a fine group of young men. But before I do that, I would like to thank Mr. Miller and the entire administrative staff, Mr. Davies, who really went above and beyond and gave us everything that we needed throughout the season. So I do thank them for that. We really had an historic season this year, a run in the state tournament that these players and coaches will never, ever forget. A school and community outpouring that was overwhelming, where we had students from the school traveling upwards of 40 and 50 miles, many who had to get rides or beg their parents to take them, and we had the bleachers filled. So it was from past players to current members of our community. It was really wonderful to see that outpouring of support. And we were able to ride that all the way to a Group 1 state sectional championship, and then Parlay that by becoming the North Jersey state champions, winning in the semifinals, and taking the Group 1 finals all the way to overtime, where we fell just a little short, but certainly not due to a lack of effort or pride that these young men played with, for sure. So maybe you could join me in a round of applause for these guys. And what a wonderful, wonderful season. Our success was a total team effort. We have, I'd like to invite up some of our assistant coaches, Coach Moreno and Coach Ulasevich. Yeah, come on up, guys. You got to be here. These guys worked so hard all season long, all summer long, and gave a great effort. Coach Felipe, unfortunately, is ill, and he could not make it here this evening. In terms of the players, so that's really why we are here. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce you to your 2023 Group 1 State North Jersey champions, the David Brearley Bears. Come on up here, guys. Come on up. Our team captains, Sebastian Diaz, Brandon Pyers, Thomas Puglisi, and Nick Seifried. Other seniors, Alex Barlam, Peter Costa, Joel Lopez, Ope Ogunwolere, Joe Pinto, Jared Quinde. Our juniors, Matthew David, Gabriel George, Cristiano Pacheco, Connor Samilla, Andre Santos, Daniel Suarez, David Teixeira Lopes, Rashawn Thorne, and our sophomores, Luigi Cedeno, Logan Pyers, Guilherme Santos, Lucas Santos, and Aaron Toloza. Your Bears, ladies and gentlemen. And on a personal note, it's, as a coach, someone who's been doing this for a long time, sometimes when you have a moment and you're entering into a tournament, you can get lost in a sea of details that can make it difficult. And what these guys were able to do is make it very, very simple. And they did the things that they had been trained to do and had been practicing to do, many of them for 4 years and beyond. And they also decided together that they were going to do this. And if you were in the locker room with us, you would have seen young men who were coming together, who were determined, who decided that it's going to take all of us to do this. And every day they would put their hands in at the end of practice, like we've been doing here with a great tradition. So I thought maybe we'd just show you what the end of our sessions look like every day. In here, guys. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. A true family, if ever I saw one. Thanks so much for inviting us here tonight. Yep. Parents, if you want to come up and grab some photos, now's a great time to do that. Vince, is this for the kids? Guys, grab a little snack bag. One wrappers on the floor.
Good job, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations to our boys soccer team. As principal, I'm quite proud of your accomplishments, and congratulations to the coaching staff as well. In addition to athletic greatness at our school, we also have extracurricular greatness, and I'm here tonight to present regarding one of our most popular events at David Brearley. At the district level and at the school level, we celebrate diversity, and one of our goals is to promote and advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we do that here. And so back in October, we celebrate, September and October, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. And specifically, we have an event in our school that is 3 years and growing, and we call it Hispanic Heritage Night. And at that event, we celebrate all the beautiful cultures that make up the Hispanic world. And that is anchored by the tireless efforts of several student leaders who I am proud to recognize tonight. And thanks for being here. Hispanic Heritage Night is a success because of staff members who go above and beyond and student leaders who show passion and dedication. Together, our students and our staff create a true celebration of diversity here at David Brearley and a true celebration of Hispanic cultures. Through food, through music, through dancing, and through learning, we were able to share the beauty of Hispanic cultures to over 400 guests in attendance back on October 12th. Before we recognize our student leaders, I'd like to call Mr. Mejia to the podium for a few brief words about his involvement in Hispanic Heritage Night. Senor Mejia is the energizing force behind the success of this event. Senor Mejia.
Buenas noches. Good evening. Mr. Arlington, members of the board, and everyone here tonight, it is truly an honor to stand here before you to celebrate the success of our Hispanic Heritage Night celebration here at David Brearley. About 3 years ago, Mr. Davies came up with the proposal of let's celebrate Hispanic heritage here at our school. And I was a bit skeptical, right? With a month and a half into the school year, crazy idea, right? But guess what? We managed. With the support from our staff members, with the support of our students, we truly, truly delivered. And there's a few students here tonight that we would like to recognize for their excellent involvement in making sure that this event could be a reality. But allow me to talk a little bit more about what it really meant for them to be part of this experience. It meant helping out with decorating. It meant helping us prepare for food. It meant helping Senor Mejia with things while he was climbing up on a ladder to make sure that our flags were represented. Truly, truly am thankful for all of their help, all of the support from the administration. Quite honestly, I think that it embodies the goal of our district in making sure that we are inclusive and we celebrate the diversity that lives within our school. So thank you very much for your support, and I'm so eager and excited to look forward to many, many more Hispanic Heritage Night celebrations. Muchas gracias.
And so I'd like to call up to the front here the following students, our student leaders of Hispanic Heritage Night. Hector Teru. Brianna Soriano. Caitlin Shirley. Uduak Esiet. And Jessica Sanchez. As Mr. Mejia said, these students work tirelessly, and I think the success of the event is because of our students. As staff members, we're the adults, but the success of the event is sold when students hear from other students and the passion is there. And these 5 individuals were our leaders to make an event. Really, when you have 400 individuals here at a night event, it's pretty impressive. And I don't think any other event exceeds Hispanic Heritage Night besides graduation. So it's really impressive that the 5 students here and Senator Mejia and some of our other faculty members are able to make this night successful. So congratulations, it's an honor, and I'm proud once again, besides the soccer team as well, to be a part of this school system because of the great students like this that are here tonight. So thank you and congratulations.
Got some parents wanting pictures. Come on down, don't be afraid.
We're good? Okay, that concludes our presentations. The board is going to be returning to the board meeting to reconvene the board meeting. So thank you very much for your coming out tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening. We're going to make a motion to reopen the meeting, and after the motion is made, we are going to do the salute to the flag. Can I please have a motion to reopen the meeting, please? Second? Motion made by Mr. Haberther, seconded by Mr. David. All those in favor of reopening the meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're asking for everyone to please rise and join us in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Ganello, can we please have roll call?
Yes. Viner.
Here.
David.
Here.
Drogan.
Here.
Ferrara. Haberther.
Here.
Ladati.
Here.
Panici.
Here.
Tiers. Here. Zimmerman.
Here.
We have quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we'll have the receiving of the minutes from November 13th. May I please have a motion to receive the minutes from November 13th?
So move.
Second? Motion made by Mr. Haberther, seconded by Mr. Viner. All those in favor of accepting the receiving of the minutes from November 13th, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion's carried. At this time, Mr. Ganello, do we have any public correspondence?
Yes, we have a couple of items. We have a letter from the County of Union regarding the alterations and additions. The site plan application associated with the renovation works was reviewed and approved. We have a letter from the Department of Education regarding the Winfield Board of Education, reporting the number of Winfield students sent to David Briley does not qualify for board representation. We have the certification of elections from the Union County Board of Elections, certifying that board candidates David Haberther and Zimmerman won the November 7th election.
Okay, thank you. Can I please have a motion to accept the monthly correspondence? Second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mrs. Drogan, seconded by Mrs. Tiers. All those in favor of accepting the monthly correspondence, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion's carried. At this time, we will have the superintendent reports, presentations. Mr. Arlington.
Thank you. I'm happy to turn the mic over to Nan Shah for his monthly report.
Thank you, Mr. Arlington. Good evening, everyone. I want to start off by referencing the middle school wing construction, which students are adjusting to. We've found new ways to walk around the field, and we're adjusting to being displaced as the electrical work is ongoing. As for college planning, early decisions are coming out on December 15th, and this week the sophomores and juniors are working with their counselors in review of PSAT scores and linking their college board accounts to Khan Academy and doing further work in Naviance. We celebrated the junior class on Friday with ice cream sundaes for having improved the average PSAT score over the past 2 years. But as great as the juniors are, the seniors did win the 2023 flag football game and interclass games as well. And this year, the middle school even engaged in their own version of interclass games, and they're also holding Spirit Fridays throughout the month of December. The Student Council is looking forward to another Spirit Week in January, and the winter concert is this Wednesday at 7 p.m., which everyone should come out and hear and see the beautiful work of the David Briley Band, Chorus, and Dance programs. The Robotics Club is hosting a movie night on Thursday. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and which is at 5 p.m., right before our first competition on Sunday, December 17th. And finally, next Tuesday, December 19th, Briley is hosting Amazon and the Hour of Code program. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you, Nan.
Does anyone have any questions for Nan?
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to point the board's attention to the HIV report. For the month of November, there were no reported cases at Brearley or Harding. Later in the meeting, you'll be voting on the one case that was founded at Brearley for the month of October. Also included in your packet is the student discipline report for last month. I'm happy to take questions on those. That report, rather.
Why were they so good in November?
A good month.
I guess that was kind of my question. Is it a reporting, are we that much better at this year, or think it's a reporting issue, Kyle, or?
Less days in school during the month?
I I mean, it's not just November, it's the whole year so far, it's been pretty good, right?
I
don't
like
know
to
what to
think
tell
things
you, I
are
just
like,
think,
I'm not sure how to answer that. Yeah.
okay,
It's a good
Gotcha.
report, though, to have it.
yeah, it is, absolutely.
Agreed.
Anyone else, any questions for Mr. Arlington? Okay. At this time, we will now move on to report of committees, review of resolutions, and board discussion. Up first is Mr. Ladati, Finance, Facilities, and Negotiation.
Okay, so for report first, the administrators have been working on their portions of the 24-25 budgets. Mr. Ganell has also been updating the Excel program and preparing for their January submissions. The leadership team is meeting this week to discuss staffing. Mr. Arlington and Mr. Ganello will be meeting tomorrow with the Executive County Superintendent for the district's mid-year budget review. The 23 annual audit has been certified by the statutory deadline. The comprehensive financial report has not been completed by our auditors. They have reached out to the Department of Education and advised them of their intended timeline, which is January 15th. The Department of Education assured them that there will be no repercussions for audits submitted after the due date. The district is preparing for winter weather. The equipment is in working condition, and the staff is ready to do their normally outstanding job they've done every year. The official groundbreaking ceremony for the additions will take place on December 14th, December 14th, at 9 a.m. On the Burley soccer field. If you guys want to attend Board of Ed, we encourage you to come. That's at 9 o'clock if I didn't say that. 3 projects are progressing. The field project was delayed due to additional required testing, and that is comes up in resolution number 9 on this evening's agenda. This may impact the overall completion date, but we're reviewing several contingencies that could assist. Of course, weather is obviously a big factor when we're doing the fields. Unit ventilators have started to be installed in Burley classrooms, and we'd like to thank the Burley teachers and students who are temporarily being displaced while their classrooms are being worked on. As for resolutions, 1 through 5 are the standard monthly fare. I reviewed the billing and financials. They all appear to be in order. There was no line item transfers over a $5,000 cap. Conferences, number 5, I'm just not gonna do all of them, I'm just gonna skip around. If you have any questions, just ask me after. 5 are the conferences, I believe. You see one that's, one teacher's going to Denver. Our only cost is for the fee for the class. There's a field trip to the Jacobs Theater. That's for 7th grade and 42 students. It was reviewed and approved by the administration. 8 is payment to contracts for the fields in HVAC. I reviewed the invoices, they appear to be proper. 10 is cancellation of checks in the amount of $19,000. Those are from vendors who never ended up cashing the check or depositing our checks. And 11 is the security grade grant of $37,925. That's non-public school grant. Again, we act as the conduit for St. Teresa's, and we also work with the contractors on their behalf. And that's all I have.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Ladati, or do you need a minute?
I had questioned this before, that I was checking some, we do have investments, and I was asked Mr. Ganella, how is it doing, like, percentage-wise? And I don't know if you want to share that, but I was very happy.
Yeah,
No, go ahead, you're good.
As we discussed in, I believe it was July, we transferred, first of all our monies are in interest-bearing accounts. In July, we did transfer $2.5 million of our operating account out of our general checking account into New Jersey ARM investment, which is currently yielding 5.31%. In addition to that, our bond proceeds, which has been for the most part almost close to a year now, been in those accounts, is also generating a substantial amount of revenue. We also have our scholarship account in the New Jersey ARM account, as well as a good portion of our unemployment trust fund as well in that account. For example, I'll just give you an example. Just in interest revenue this year for the bond interest, we've made $980,000. So significant amount of money since July. That $2.5 million that we transferred in July, it's already made $40,000. So
I think people should know that, and I thank you for that.
So we also, every year when our financial auditor comes in here and gives us the report, he also gives us the state of our business, right? And he's always said that we've always been in good position, we're not losing money anywhere. So when that report comes out, I'm sure you'll be, take a look at that also.
I just noticed something in this last reading, and I go, well, I'm gonna ask about that, so, yeah, that would probably have to be pointed out to me, there's pages of finances, so.
You can take over the finance chair if
No,
you
I
wish.
can't. Anyway, also, the Resolution 9, maybe we discussed that, I just don't remember, if you could remind me, there's an increase that was for a specific reason?
Yeah, well, that was, as you know, we had some contaminated soil
Yes.
out on the field. So they had to do a certain amount of testing to get through the first level of the EPA, which was to meet EPA standards. Now we have to do additional testing because we have to take the contaminated soil off-site to these various locations where they like to take dirty dirt. And they require certain testing. So based on the level and the volume that is contaminated out there, it is a significant amount of additional testing that needs to be done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Anyone else, any questions about finance, facilities, and negotiations? Okay, thank you, Mr. Ladati. Up next, Mr. Haberthor, Personnel and Management.
Thank you. 6 brief resolutions. Resolution number 12 is the acceptance of a retirement of one of the custodial staff. Resolution 13 is a change to 8 hours. Resolution 14 is a maternity leave of absence request. Resolution 15 are athletic stipend positions for the 23-24 school year. Resolution 16 approves a volunteer coach for the boys basketball team for the 23-24 school year. And Resolution 17 is the approval of substitute staff. And that's it.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Haberthor?
No, but I want to wish and thank Frank Spondorio, the custodian who's retiring. I thank him for his almost 8 years of service to the district.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank.
Do we want to review the tab? Do you want to do the tab script?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Do you want me to just read the whole thing?
Yeah, no copies.
Sure. So the TAB committee met recently. The TAB committee, which stands for Teachers, Administrators, and Board Members, met on November 20th. The teacher members of the committee shared successes of the school year, such as monthly SEL and school cultural assemblies at Harding, flexible seating at Brearley, the dance program for all middle school students, and the homecoming dance. Challenges identified include sub-shortages, how teacher coverage is orchestrated when there are no subs, and the impact on special education programs. Other challenges include the impacts of social media and the need to develop social emotional learning skills for both special education and general education students. The committee discussed a wish for greater parent turnout and stronger consideration for the multiple dimensions that affect student achievements besides the teacher. Middle school students on Harding's campus after school were also discussed. In addition, committee members discussed academic efforts such as courses and rigor and philanthropic efforts such as the Care Closet, which a group of teachers began to help secure food, basic health, hygiene products for school community members in need. As a chairperson of the committee on behalf of the board, I want to thank the teachers who volunteered their time, Assistant Principal Carrera for attending, and Principal Davies for facilitating the night. We're in the process of scheduling our next meeting, which I think we said was going to be sometime in the spring, so.
Thank you, Mr. Haberthor. Anyone questions for Mr. Haberthor?
Will some action be made or try to be made on some of these issues? Or you just wait till spring?
Well, I think with Kyle, where it was just, I don't know that necessarily action items come out of that, right?
I think there's some action items that come out.
Substitute issues.
But those, right, I think we deal with that on a regular basis, the sub-issues and sub-shortages.
Well, the point of having that was that they had a place they could go and
Correct.
say what was on their
Yeah.
mind, and hopefully something would be resolved.
Yeah.
If possible.
Some issue, it was a big issue everywhere, so, you know.
Again, you have to try. I mean, if there's no you're missing substitutes in the class, that could be an issue, especially in a special ed class, so we would just hope something could be worked out.
We use, for substitutes, we use private
or an outsourced company?
Outsource, yeah. I've been in districts that use outsource. There's affordances and limitations to that, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Up next, curriculum instruction, Mrs. Tears.
There's two resolutions tonight. Resolution 18 is for the Harding After School ESSER programs, and then Resolution 19 is the acceptance of the HIB report from October.
Anyone questions for Mrs. Tears?
Yeah,
It's okay, it's okay.
18, it says $43 an hour, so these aren't teachers, this is, who's doing this?
Teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers? Okay. Very good. Always teachers, or?
Why wouldn't it be teachers?
I'm just saying, $43 an hour, it's
It's a contractual rate.
fine, I'm just, because when I saw that amount, I go, well, are they all teachers, are there A's, or whatever? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else, any questions before we move on? Okay. At this time, is there anything on, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, do we have to talk about the meeting schedule?
Oh, sure, Mr. Cannell.
Yeah.
Everyone has a meeting schedule in their
Yeah.
packet
So,
for next year.
we figured we'd take an opportunity, the board isn't changing any, so this is an opportunity for us to take a look at the meeting schedule for that we're going to be voting on in January, and if there are any issues, now would be the time that we could address them, so we can make the change on the resolution at our organization meeting on January 3rd.
This is how it's always been.
This is the
Tuesdays
standards.
are because of a holiday, and
Correct.
so nothing's really changed.
Not always, the past couple of years. The time
No, I see.
has not always been 7 o'clock.
Well,
But the-
the times, I was talking about the dates. I wasn't doing the time. Okay, good.
Just one question, Vince. So I know we plugged in the annual budget hearing. Are we, we'll just, as the meetings go on during the year for the, during the regular meetings, we'll decide if we have to meet as a board for a
Well-
special budget?
Yeah, we put the March 4th meeting in as a special budget meeting. The March
Right.
11th meeting, we typically also use as an opportunity to review the budget. And basically, between there and the public hearing, there's not much, budgetarily that you can do.
Okay.
Because it's at the county superintendent's office at
Okay,
that
thank
point.
you.
Does anyone have any questions, concerns, anything they want to address about the schedule?
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ganella. So this time we will move on to old business. Does anyone have any old business? Okay, we want to, go ahead.
I'm not
Flo.
sure if it's old or new. It was, talked about it, but then this would be new. I'm happy to hear that we're now saying the flag in unison with, over the system, loud system, in the mornings. And we did that, and it's fine, but I don't know at what point, maybe next year, we could make it more permanent. Because superintendents, presidents, principals come and go, and I just feel strongly that the flag should be said to the whole school, all at once, not the teacher's option to do that. I don't know how or what happened, but I really would like to look into this and make it more permanent, however that's gonna be done in the future. I mean, it's up for discussion or whatever, but I would like to see that happen.
Anyone else? Under old business, we would also like to remind everyone that the Friday folder goes home every week for opportunities and supports that are available for students and families in school-level events. So please just keep checking, and there's a ton of information on our website if you need information regarding anything. And if you don't find something, you can always reach out to us and we can support. Okay, anyone else under old business? Okay, now for new business. Anyone? We want to just thank everyone that participated for the school year so far and all the different events that we've had, from the leadership teams to the students, families, everyone. And, from the board to the community, we want to wish the families of our community and students, our staff, a happy and healthy holiday and a happy new year.
Thank you.
Anyone else, anything under new business? Okay, we would now like to open up the meeting to the public for comment. Is there a motion to open up the meeting to the public?
I'll make a motion to open it to the public.
Second. Okay, motion made by Mrs. Drogan, seconded by Mr. David. All those in favor of opening the meeting to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Mr. Ganella?
Yes, Public comment will now be accepted. The Board of Education sets a limit for the public to speak at the board meeting to 5 minutes per person unless prior permission has been granted by the Board of Education for extended time pursuant to Board of Education Bylaw 0167. For the record, please include your name and address in all public comments.
This time, is there any public that would like to make a comment?
Over here?
Yes, please.
Hi, Joey Grimaldi, 34 North 14th Street, and I graduated 79. Shame on me, I didn't vote for or against the football stuff over there, the field and all of that. But I have a few concerns, like from what little I understand about artificial surface, it's supposed to be harder on the athlete's knees and joints overall. And also, I don't come to the meetings often. Maybe this is my second or third meeting ever, but are we spending too much money on athletics? Athletics is good. I played football, I wrestled, and I was in spring track. And I learned a lot about life going through sports. And the late, great Tony Saragusa, I think he's the only one from Brearley that ever made it to the pros. Are we spending too much money over there, or how's our scholastic income or money flowing in, financing for better books or better, I'm just concerned that we're putting too much over there in the athletics and not enough in the scholastics. Am I wrong? Am I all washed up or what?
I'm not gonna say you're washed up, but.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I'm happy to, go ahead, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you answer me, and if you think I'm washed up, that's fine.
No, my colleague is gonna help grab your name and number, and I could definitely share some talking points around turf versus synthetic field. We've done a lot of research around that, and we put out some talking points to the community, but if you don't have a child in the district, you might not have access to those points, so I'll share them with you. And I'll also just share right now that the bulk of the referendum is the $31.4 or $6 million is actually not for the fields, it's for the addition to Brearley Middle High School, which has a very strong academic component or dimension to it. So it affords brand new science labs for high school students, a very renovated facility for middle school students. It expands space for preschool. So the referendum that was voted on in October of 2022, yes, it has athletic field upgrades, but it also has a lot of other parts, the biggest of which are academics.
Okay, you just reminded me of another point.
Sure.
Just from my observations, I live right across the street from the football field
Okay.
and from the outdoor high school graduation. So I think we're losing people, attendance, numbers. Are our numbers going down as far as how many people are coming to school? And do we need a separate middle school? I went from K through 8 in Harding School, and then I came over here for the 4 years. do we need more physical building space or, I mean, upgrading science labs and stuff like that, that's one thing, but putting on a whole other addition, is it needed? Do the numbers of students demand so much more space and capital input?
So it wasn't about numbers, it was about refiguring grade levels to make more academic sense for our students. And there was a whole year-plus long informational campaign that oriented towards making a case for support for these different projects. I'm happy to sit with you or call you and we can go over that.
All right, that's all I have to say. Like I said, shame on me, I didn't pay attention. I don't have any children, but still as a...
Mr. Grimaldi, at this time, the 5 minutes is up, so we appreciate your comments, but we have to move on to the next person, and Mr. Arlington will reach out to you to continue the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there any other public that would like to speak at this time? Come on up. Hi. Thank you.
I'm Shari Brennan, 19 North 21st Street, and the last time I was here was 2 months ago, and I spoke a bunch about my son being bullied, and it's continued on. So the leaders over there in Harding tell me that it's not happening, he's not being bullied, but here is the physical aggression towards my 9-year-old son so far this year. October 9th, a boy seeked him out in the hallway and hit him in the head and sent my son to the nurse. November 7th, he was shoved by another kid in aftercare while they were on the steps leading down to the gym, and he fell down a couple steps. On November 17th, during recess, that same boy seeked him out on a small play set out there in Harding and hit him on the back. Who hit somebody in the back? My son wasn't even looking at him. I asked the police SRO to see what happened on the camera. Could he look and see what was going on? He said actually that the cameras are not good enough in that area. They're grainy, they're black and white, not really focused in the right area, so he couldn't even verify it. So I've heard this before on other occasions. I would like to ask for better cameras and better setups so that we can see what's going on. If somebody wants to look back, I'm tired of seeing that we can't look at it. Not that I personally am allowed, but he should be able to see it. November 29th, my son was eating breakfast in Before Care, and yet a different kid came up to my son and threw a water bottle at his breakfast, making my son's breakfast go all over the floor. That kid didn't get in trouble. My kid got in trouble. My kid had to clean up the breakfast off the floor and missed breakfast and just had to go to class with no food. The same kid, December 5th, came into the restroom while my son was already in there and starts horseplaying around and knocking everybody and screaming. So it just continues on and on. All these little bits of physical aggression are really not helpful to my son and his academic experience. You know, he's stressed out, he's not eating right, he's not sleeping right when he knows he has to go to school. I just wanted to stop, right? So I came here last time and finally I got referred to some people in this school district that I didn't even know existed. So Mrs. Kukalo, she helped me. She said, I'm gonna get you on October 30th, a stay-away agreement. The stay-away agreement to ensure positive learning environment, and it's got to be signed between two boys. All comments and discussions about the other student are not allowed. No gestures towards the other student. No physical contact towards the other student. Well, my son signed them, and there was one to the kid who's hit him over the years. There was one to the other kid who's hit him over the years, and it's still happening. Those kids didn't sign the sheets. So I and my son feel intimidated by these children who are in the school with him who say that they might hit him again. And, you know, for sure, it has happened. So it's intimidating to my son to be here. My daughter same age. Hers doesn't sound quite as bad. However, it makes her uncomfortable that she's in class and there's a boy who touches her and hugs her where she doesn't want to be touched or hugged by other people. I wish that my kids could just come to school and not be touched. So anyway, those same two kids who don't sign this agreement, they're in aftercare. So are my kids in aftercare. I don't feel safe leaving them in anymore, so I have to take them out, send them down the street to the rec center. Well, now my kids can't stay after for math intervention, which is apparently only available for 4th grade after school because they're not here. My kids are, they just got the report cards. My son has 2s, 1s. My daughter, she was lucky she had 3s and 2s. These are not great grades. My son in math is a level 1 on those state tests. He's a level 2 on English. So, I mean, the whole school's not meeting the average of the state, and my kids are lower than this. My kids need this reading intervention. They need this math intervention. They've been here since kindergarten. They're in 4th grade. They need the help. But we're chased away because we're having a problem with what I'm calling bullying. I can't start an HIB because neither of
Mrs.
my
Brennan,
kids
I'm
are in that.
sorry. At this time, we have to stop because it's exceeded the 5 minutes. Mr. Arlington will reach out to you and continue this conversation.
And I'd like to share something right now that I drafted a few minutes ago. After our last meeting, Mrs. Brennan, we met along with Ms. Kukalo, our Director of Student Personnel
Yes.
Services, one of my top team members who helps me address complex matters like this one. Since then, I want you to know that I receive daily updates to make sure the plans we talked about are enacted and to be briefed by my team about what's happening. So they share these updates with me both via email and in person. I personally review logs, chronologies, and intervention plans as a commitment to how seriously I take these concerns. So I'll continue to look into them, I'll continue to make sure my team acts, and I'll continue to make sure we deploy a multidisciplinary, multi-stakeholder team to make sure your children get what they need.
Thank you. I felt I needed to come here to give a status because it was so terrible 2 months ago. It's still ongoing.
Thank
We're
you.
still
We
not
appreciate
settled.
your comments. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to make any comments at this time? Okay.
Motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
Can we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mrs. Tiers. All those in favor of closing the meeting to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ayes have it, motion is carried. The meeting is closed to the public for comment. Mr. Ganella, are we prepared to vote on resolutions?
Yes, we are. Okay, this is for do any of the resolutions need to be voted on separately? No? Okay. This is for resolutions 1 through 19 on the agenda. Biner?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Drogan?
Yes.
Habather?
Yes.
Ladati?
Yes.
Tiers?
Yes.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Panici?
Yes.
Motion's carry unanimously.
Okay. Mr. Ganella, is there a need to go into closed executive session?
Yes, there is.
Motion to do so.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mrs. Drogan. All those in favor of going into closed session, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ayes have it, motion is carried. Mr. Ganella?
Be it resolved, Board of Education, the Board of Education meet in private session to review topics from the public which may be excluded, specifically student personnel matters, to discuss in private session being held pursuant to Section 7B and 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act. The matters under discussion will be disclosed to the public as soon as final decisions are made and voted upon. Okay.
Okay, we're now going to enter closed session. We thank everyone for coming. Mr. Grimaldi, can you just write down your contact information before you go for Mr. Arlington?
Have a nice holiday.